Bo Nickal endures brutal press conference ambush as Covington and Rockhold unload at RAF 05. Bo Nickal's confidence took a serious hit on Thursday night as the rising MMA prospect was publicly eviscerated by not one, but two former UFC champions at the RAF 05 press conference in Florida. The freestyle wrestling event, set for Friday night in Sunrise, Florida, is headlined by a grudge-filled main event between Colby Covington and Luke Rockhold. Nickal, meanwhile, is scheduled to face legendary Cuban wrestler Yoel Romero in the co-main event, but his attempt to inject himself into the spotlight backfired spectacularly. Seated in the front row, the outspoken Penn State standout couldn't resist taking verbal shots at the headliners, floating the idea of a two-fight deal with Covington, one in the Real American Freestyle ring and another inside the UFC octagon. Covington, however, wasted no time shutting that down in ruthless fashion. After exchanging words with Nickal, who had no microphone, Covington mocked him with a controversial reference to the Sandusky Special, a jab aimed at Penn State's disgraced past. When Nickal continued reacting, Covington doubled down. "Didn't you get beat up by a Dutch kickboxer?" Covington sneered. "I forgot. Remember your cardio?" "Yeah, you got beat up by a Dutch kickboxer." "That's right." The former interim UFC welterweight champion then questioned Nickal's credibility altogether, ridiculing his resume and lack of headline experience. "Have you ever even been a main event?" Covington asked sarcastically before repeating the Sandusky dig and accusing bozos like Nickal of killing the sport of wrestling. "We need stars," Covington said. "We need people willing to be vocal and call their shots." When Nickal reiterated his desire for a two-fight deal, Covington laughed it off. "That'd be too easy, bro. You got broken by a Dutch kickboxer. You're a bum," he fired back. "We're talking big money here, not bums. We're talking Luke Rockhold, first ballot Hall of Famer, not some improving kid who's never done anything." If Covington's dismissal was cold, Luke Rockhold's response was downright vicious. When attention shifted his way, the former UFC middleweight champion launched into a scathing rant that left little room for interpretation. "You should make it to the top 10 before you start talking about a sport that built another sport," Rockhold said. "Wrestling is here because of MMA, and you've done absolutely nothing in MMA." Rockhold then referenced Nickal's lone professional loss. "You quit before the knee even hit you, buttoning up," he continued. "How many world championships have I won? What have you done on a world stage? Absolutely nothing. You're a college bum. Shut up." Rockhold went one step further, threatening to put Nickal to sleep in a modified rules grappling match. No leg locks, just chokes. What was meant to be a routine press conference instead turned into a brutal public reckoning for one of MMA's most hyped prospects. With Romero awaiting him on Friday night, Nickal now heads into RAF 05, carrying not just expectations, but the weight of two legends who believe he hasn't earned the right to speak yet.